Next, with fears we could be in for soaring temperatures this summer, the Wetlands Trust is calling on Londoners to do their bit to help wildlife in need of watery spaces. Over to Barnes now. What does that involve, Sally?
Well, it's all about ponds, Duncan. Ponds, ponds, ponds. So good for biodiversity. And even if you have got the tiniest outdoor space, you can build one. Now, here's a posh one. Look at this beautiful drain pipe coming off from the building, collecting rainwater, and it all goes into here, which looks like a normal flower bed, but it's actually a pondy type flower bed. It's got this beautiful water mint, which smells amazing. Look at that stunning water lily. You don't see very many of those in London. And earlier we did a little bit of good old-fashioned pond dipping. And look what we found. So in here, we've got about 7 or 8 species we spotted. Come and have a look, and you can see some of them. There's little leeches and bugs and larvae and all sorts going on. Probably a bit unclear. Some of them are doing some slightly strange things, but obviously they're very good for the whole biodiversity of London and wherever we are. Now, Tom, you're from the Wetlands Centre here in London. What is the problem with ponds and this city?
Well, in the UK in general, we've lost half of our ponds in the 20th century, and London is even worse for that with the built-up areas. So what we're asking people to do is really bring back some of that wetland wildlife and bring in with it that amazing biodiversity. These are some of the most biodiverse spaces in the world. And you get stuff like, you get your bugs, as we've seen there, you get dragonflies, birds. Bring all of that back and bring that benefit to wildlife.
Okay, now you might think they're difficult to build, but you've been showing me today that they are. We've got this homemade one here. What do you think about this? Talk us through this, Tom.
Yeah, so simple this. Literally a bucket, and you can put this in the ground. We've got some soil in there, we've got some pebbles, we've got some rocks, and on top of that, we've got these wetland plants, some reed mace, some bulrush, and that is just going to suck in all those bugs, and with it, the birds, possibly bats, frogs, newts, all of that wonderful stuff.
Oh, wow, who'd have thought? My goodness. I have to say, there's some amazing videos on the Wetlands and Wildfowl Trust website. Do go on there. I saw someone make one in a builder's helmet, a tiny little pond, so you can do some incredible things. Tom, it's also related, isn't it, to climate change?
Yeah, so both as we get more climate change, it's going to get hotter, drier, but also in some periods wetter. And what wetlands do is they hold water. So in those dry periods, you get that wetland haven for wildlife. But also in those wetter periods, holds water in the land and stops it going into our roads, into our streets, and causing those issues. So key for climate resilience.
All right. Well, listen, Tom, thank you so much. So if you have always dreamed of having a pond like I have, you too can have one. Just get something like this. Oh, I shouldn't bang it. There's beautiful wildlife in there, but you know what I mean.